Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast. We'll be bringing raw and unfiltered energy for each movie and TV show that we will be reviewing. Just think of it as turning your movie group chat into a podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz.
I am Jason. And man, per usual, I got some house rules I want to run through with you. So let's get started. One, we will be spoiling this review. So if you haven't seen it, you haven't watched it, please stop, go check it out, and then come listen to this review. Number two, please like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know, let your church members know, let your family know what we are doing over here at the Was It Good Though podcast. Number three, have fun. We just kicking shit, having fun with my friends. That's what we do. And last but not least, this is not a kid-friendly podcast. So if you're watching with your kids, that's something on you that has nothing to do with us. Let's get to this review.
It is our Curse of the Caucasus.
Right? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, because have you ever seen a hairy ass athlete? None.
No,
None.
Really, no.
Well, how y'all hairy asses doing this evening?
Our hairy asses is fine.
My ass is hairy too.
Look, how y'all doing?
Oh no, I ain't got no hair on my ass.
Michael, is you speaking? Because I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? In the name
Yes.
of the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
No, this is good. No, thank you guys. I had a really good time with you guys last time. Thank you guys for bringing me back and stuff. And I'm looking forward to more stuff in the future and everything. Thank you for bringing me back.
Thank you for joining us again.
Look, I was about to say you're welcome, like it's my show.
Yeah.
No, you're welcome. No problem. No problem at all. Say my goddamn
Open
show.
invite.
I'm sorry.
Open invite. Come on through.
Thank you.
Oh man. All right.
But I definitely just want to check on everybody since we did just find out who our next president is. Even this episode is going to drop next week compared to Waiting to Exhale. That's the end of the month. We decided to let that one cook for a minute. But
I was waiting for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, me and Jason's schedule, we was like, we're going to let that, well, actually me, I was like, we're going to let that be the end of the month. But this one is definitely dropping. I'm going to take responsibility, accountability, all of that. But this is dropping next Tuesday. So.
Well, let's just say America has become John's car that Bernice lit to flame. So we just gonna ride with that. We just gonna ride.
Yeah.
It's been I don't know if y'all have been out with the people on today, but the caucus is celebrating.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
they are celebrating.
Definitely.
They buy newspapers. It's memorabilia.
Oh, most definitely. I had to like get off of social media.
Yeah.
Because I saw all those celebratory. I was like, no.
Yeah, I think especially people in their mid to late 20s is like you definitely saw even in the statistics of people who just opt out, which that was kind of one of the main points of how end results happen. And my thing is this is regardless whoever you voted for, if you had no dog in this fight and yet you're complaining, shut the hell up. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it.
No, I'm 100% with you. You got to get out and vote. I do personally believe in it. The white folks will not take it from you if they don't believe it was something that was important. I'm just saying. Jazz, we was in a group chat. We seen people talking about they no longer voting. I don't, this is my fifth time voting. I'm 3 or 5. You know what I'm saying? The people I'm 3 or 5.
That's all right. That's still a good shooting percentage.
You know what I'm saying? So 3 of the people I wanted have went into the office and have taken it. This time, unfortunately, it didn't. The one thing that does give me some kind of relief is knowing that we showed up for. Let me say I am a Kamala Waltz voter. I voted for her and him. So yes, I appreciated seeing that the black people did show up for her. Now can't speak for the others, but when it comes down to it, but people not voting, I feel like was one of the largest or the biggest things that hurt. I'm not even talking about other races and whatnot because I only can speak for mine. I only ride for mine when it comes to it. So I do have relief in that part of it. Unfortunately, what You got to find relief again in another, I feel like, a traumatic situation per usual, but we're gonna ride this black cloud out for the next 4 years and make sure we get to the next 4, and hopefully we can
Well,
bring some more people to the promised land.
there's some beauty in this madness because at the end of the day, he's got 2 years to try to do all the crappy things he's already opened up, right? So he spoke on. Because then we have the midterms. Now, if by chance it doesn't work, in the favor of those who are like, well, I thought he was going to change the economy, then you go in and you fire everybody around him and you bring in people that are actually going to work. You may see a blue wave because we didn't see a blue wave again this year.
We ain't seen nothing. It was
thing.
Bloods everywhere. Like
it was. Yeah,
I push back on Republican. It's more a conservative wave that's moving than actually just being red, because you're seeing also Democrats switching from not saying being Republican. It's like no, they're going to conservatism,
right.
which is like, I feel like that's the more of a conversation. Talk about how we're kind of more as a people, or at least this nation, is kind of expanding that mindset of conservatism and everything, and how that affects other people and everything like that. Just by what's been going on the last 4 years, the economy, XYZ. I think we're just having more tough conversations, but also we're also seeing the hypocrites too, the one that ride the bandwagon only to after the results came out be like, well, I'm actually on the winning side. Hey, you thought I was on this, but hey, and who's actually was at the rallies, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, so you. So yeah,
I voted for Old Dirty Bastard because I figured he is the one that'll get us for us. He is for the children, and I felt like Dirty's for the children.
Wu-Tang for the kids.
There you go.
For the kids.
God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt nobody. So it was like, okay, that was the prime choice. My thing is, at the end of the day, it sounds cliche because black folks have been saying it since the day they shipped our asses onto this fuck country. We've been through worse and we'll get through it.
Yes.
Always going through worse and we'll get through it.
Anthony,
and I
I'm
know
tired
it
of having to get through it.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to survive.
Can we coast for a little
and
while?
thrive.
Is that going to be okay?
I mean, you can ride dirty, swing, and bang. You live in Texas, so you should have elbows on your car.
I'm in Virginia,
I don't want to.
I'm in Florida, but
I don't want to.
I mean, I'm in Louisiana.
Florida pissed me so far. I mean, Texas, I already knew how Texas was going to go. It's gone this way.
Louisiana, I knew too.
Forever. I live in a blue city within a red state. I knew that was going to happen, but them actually putting marijuana and abortion on the ballot in Florida.
On the ballot.
Let's take another road, y'all, because I'm about to get triggered, and I'm excited for this review.
Yeah.
That part.
Me too.
I'm excited for this review, so
I'm ready.
But yeah, we obviously, anybody listening, y'all see our feelings toward this. But then again, also, if you are new to this pod, you know our energy. If you are returning, you already know the kind of stance we have in these kind of discussions. Jason, would you like to do our intro, or would you like me to do it, my brother?
I got it. But I mean, it's very relative. It's new. It's what's the current event of today, so it had to be spoken on. But as you said, Jazz, let's get on this. Let's take this coven down the road. What's good, people?
Y'all gonna make it.
This is the What's It Good Though podcast about movies and TV shows. I am one half of the podcast. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And as I said, we had to bring a coven for this episode. Brought back some people that was on a very special episode of the What's It Good Though podcast. Still in the tuck. We admitting that now. It is still in the tuck. It will come out, and that's a wild one. But of course, we brought back Talking Ish. We got two of our members, Anthony and Helene. How are y'all?
So pathetic.
I am good. As I said earlier, I woke up this morning and I was still black, so the blessing is still there. So I'm good.
Amen. Amen. And we brought our brother Micheal back. This second episode, he came back within a month. Well-spoken gentleman, black man, married.
You speak so well. You're so eloquent. You speak so well.
Thank you.
articulate.
He's
He's
so
very
articulate.
Oh,
articulate.
see my interview with the Method Man for Power. He was like, hey, I asked my question, man. What's up with you Washington D.C. ninjas? Like, y'all just spoke so articulate, man. God, you know. I was like, yeah, I'm black, I'm educated, sir. Thank you.
He's
At
one of
least
the
you didn't
good
go,
ones.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say. At least you didn't go, well, you're one of them good ones. Or you could have went and said, well,
Yeah,
Clifford, let
yeah.
me break it down for
Right,
you.
or Carlton, you know, whatever.
Hey, man, good.
Not
Thank God.
unusual.
Oh,
Yeah, hit it. But this evening, or morning, afternoon, whenever you receive this episode, this is number 127. And this week, Jazz, we going back to Marvel, which I feel like this year has been a pretty Marvel has been cooking. Marvel has been cooking. Um, Agatha All Along. This is a follow-up show to the WandaVision show, which of course we got introduced to Agatha there. if you watching the video, you can actually see Anthony with this amazing dope ass shirt that he has on showing
I do
the
my
actual
thing.
show. But yeah, man, Agatha All Along, man, this is one of the ones I was kind of worried about. I was one of the people up front, like, yeah, I don't know why Agatha is getting a show. Um, but after watching and taking it in, like I'm gonna lie, kind of shaky the first two episodes. I'm not gonna lie. But if you watch them after when I rewatched, I watched it from six to the end, then back around. If you watch it that way, this show is fucking amazing. But I want to start at the end of the actual of this show. Episode 9, Mother Maiden Crone. We, with this one, we were kind of waiting to see what really happened to Nicholas. And I truly have a lot of questions that didn't really get answered, which I'm perfectly fine with them not being answered. But was Agatha supposed to die with Nick on childbirth?
Mm-mm.
No, it was
You
the
don't think?
child.
You
No,
don't. Yeah, I'm so now. This is my reasoning. Rio kept following her, not just for that baby, because after she took that baby and Agatha like slowed down in her killing, because she was still on, got another coven, and she stopped killing. Once she came back to herself, she wasn't messing with her because she was using the dark hold. Once she lost the dark hold due to Wanda, Rio popped back up on her like, "Hey, what's up? I need my bodies. You ain't laying nothing down, so lay some bodies down." And it came back to the road of Billy and her, and you had to somebody had to go. So I think
well,
I feel like she was supposed to die having that baby, and they both would have gone,
mhm.
but she in that situation, which is I guess poetic. She death gave life in that situation where she helped her birth Nikki, because I don't think Agatha would have been able to just naturally do it. And she even said there was no contation, no spell spoken. You just appear. I'm like, damn, this nigga Jesus. I'm a scratch it's the devil. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
but Michael, you got some pushback on there, brother. What you thinking?
So I actually have several videos lined up because I mean I also have the comics tied to as well because Nicholas Scratch is actually a character in the comics. He's actually the father of the Salem
The
Seven,
same
the
seven.
witches,
Yeah.
the witches that would come after T.O. Yeah, in the comics, those are all his children with other women and everything. But yeah, he was a sorcerer and all that stuff, but they didn't go with that storyline. Now in that scene when you're talking about, think that's more of a plot hole on the show because there's a lot of aspects that were left out. They had an opportunity because they showed us the Darkhold in a previous episode, I think episode 3, but they didn't show us how does
Mm-hmm.
she get the Darkhold and also show the betrayal of her mother and the other witches to take their power, which is the scene they showed in WandaVision
Mm-hmm.
of her killing her mother and the rest of the coven. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't see that, storylines being thread, and also how did she even met death to begin with. So there were several also theories with there was also other theories that she could have been the daughter of Mephisto because the mother was saying you were born evil, and it's like, yeah, it's like, and then she also keeps saying, oh, I can be good. No, you can never be good. And like, why is that? And it's so there was a lot of things that are left hold of that. But to when Rio or Death when appeared, that was for the child. So the child was going to die. She's like, oh no, please let me give birth to this child. She's like, okay, go ahead, let it. But then not knowing that also, hey, watch this child being born, I'm just gonna use it to feed my addiction, which is so dark. But so yeah, that's where at the time I think in the Salem era, like childbirth, and children passing away, that was like another Tuesday, honestly.
Yeah, it was the
Like
norm.
so, yeah.
So I want to piggyback off of that. And Helene, I know I mentioned this to you. There was a theory that I saw on Twitter to why I think Agatha was Jen's biggest hater, but also respected Jen because Jen was a midwife. Do you think if
Mm.
Jen was around Agatha during the time where she was able to give birth, that Jen would have been able to help her have a successful delivery to where death didn't even have to pop up
Knock on
in a
that
way?
door.
Right.
Did you? Would you? I
I was
personally think
asking
it
I was
wouldn't have
asking the
mattered.
coven.
I
I
don't.
was
I don't.
asking the
I
coven.
don't. I don't think it. I don't think it would have mattered in my personal opinion. I think she would have. I think that still would have happened. But I hear you, Mike. I hear you. But I'm still. I personally think Agatha was supposed to die as well because I think the trade off in that situation was to keep giving her bodies for not only your son but for you too. Because I think they both. I think she would have passed away in that moment. Because how would she? How else would she have been able to birth him and survive based on given the situation because I mean death came because that was going to happen and I mean I guess because I look at it as women that I know and I know how dangerous that situation and kind of like what you're saying in that back in the day they didn't have readily available people to be able to birth these kids and I think about like shit Walking Dead, or I'm thinking TV
Right, I
shows because
understand. Yeah.
because in real life, I mean, I've seen these situations and I know how it is. I have bukus of them, so I know how it is when having a kid.
Buku.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
not buku like
Five
that.
plus five.
Just kept
How many?
going.
How many you got in stock? Five plus five. Yeah,
I mean, I
but
don't
yeah.
think that it seems like there could be the baby was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
That we know. Whether Agatha was wrapped up in that baby dying, that's of course we don't know. But I
Mm-hmm.
think once death came, and then like you said, she got a hold of the dark hole, but death was still around. Really and truly, I think death kind of just wanted to fuck the shit out of Agatha. Like
She definitely did.
I think they had
Yep.
I don't think it was necessarily a you feed my need for bodies. I think it's like you feed my need for your body type situation at one point. So it seems like Rio was coming around more for just more than just the bodies that she was collecting as Death. I think it was not Death and Agatha, it was Rio and Agatha. You know what I'm saying? Like Death was just kind of a secondary when it came to them at some point. That's why Agatha was kind of she was still apprehensive about her as the show starts. And she's like, what you took or whatever, whatever. But nah, there was some underlying shit in that what you took. It wasn't just about Nicholas. It seems like there was a history that we just are not exploring because she was way too lenient. Rio was way too lenient with Agatha's ass.
Yeah.
There should have. I do think Rio should have had her own episode where it kind of goes more
Yeah.
into depth into
She is so depowered. But anyway, yeah.
like how the relationship came about, where did it start, where did it begin, and like I said, because I don't know, because I said Agatha killing, I mean that's giving bodies, but my thing with that is why is Rio lingering around for one body and I bring this up because on episode 8, Agatha brought up Billy. You can figure this out. 120 people die every minute. So if we know this, that's automatically knowing Rio, you're going to get a body every minute,
Mm-hmm.
120 of them. Why are you looking for specific bodies? And this is and this is where I'm like I said, this is now Billy. I understood. I understood why Billy body was more important than but now Nick, I'm not getting that, and I'm not understanding that.
Y'all
So
ever read? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hell
Y'all
no,
ever
I didn't
seen?
read.
Oh, well, let's stop. I feel you. Reading kills libidos. Um,
Not the
that's what
reading
I was
skills.
told years ago. I was told reading is not good for the libido. Y'all remember the movie Meet Joe Black?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
with a very young and not as toxic Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And y'all remember what the story was, right? Basically,
Yeah.
Death takes a holiday. Death comes, wants to be human, wants to experience humanity, blah, 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 falls in love, all this crazy stuff. I think Marvel took a little taste of that with Madam Death or Lady Death, whatever comic you decide to read.
Come on, Anthony.
When you did, and Michael's in there too. Michael knows his comics.
Sure, yeah, her first issue was in Captain Marvel issue 26 in 1963. Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is quite frankly, they took just a little bit to kind of humanize Death. Because even if you go back to the point where Agatha is decomposing, which I thought was such a beautiful shot of her going into the earth, becoming one with, because that's what most Wiccans, witches believe, that in the end, we all return back to Mother Earth and blah, 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 and beauty and our magic, all that shit. The way she looked at Billy, because she basically said Billy is an anomaly that needed to be taken out for, they didn't want to say it, the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
But she said for the balance of nature, because that's the whole thing. If a person in any movie that deals with the vision of death from the seventh seal? Yeah, from the seventh seal to Meet Joe Black. The whole thing is that
the seventh sign.
That's Demi Moore. The Seventh Seal is an old Ingmar Bergman film from the 1950s. Beautiful film. It's where a knight from the Crusades.
How old were you in the 1950s?
I was only 10. Leave me alone. So and I look damn good as a man who was 10 in the 1950s. Black don't crack. But the thing is, the whole concept is to deal with death, right? So if you ever get a chance to watch The Seventh Seal, I'm telling you, it's so good because it's two actors, one scene on a beach, and one's a crusade. 1973?
It was 1973.
Was The Seventh Seal?
No, sorry. I'm talking about Death's original appearance in Captain Marvel. It was 1973.
73. Yeah, because the next time Death appeared was in the death of Captain Marvel, cradling him.
Yep.
But one of the cooler things is where they're playing chess. They're sitting on the beach playing chess, and the Crusader is playing against Death for his life.
Mm-hmm.
And Death literally says, you want to up your vanity is what's keeping you alive, and you are trying to upset a balance. But since you want to upset the balance, know this, and I hope I'm remembering it right. You stay, someone goes, because that's the natural order. So with Agatha made the deal, and that's what I think it really was. Yeah, I think Rio had love for her in a very weird way.
Yeah.
But not really that weird. Let's be honest. We fall in love for the craziest shit.
Man,
but
good puss.
Go ahead,
sure.
Anthony.
Yes.
My bad. I was on mute. My bad.
That's all right. Your beard coming back. I get it.
I got past that Jamaican castor oil. Let me I'll pass it to you.
But one of the things that with us, and I know we talking about the last episode, look at Alice. When Alice died, and she looked at Rio and go, that's it? I thought I had more time. This is this shit? What are you doing? What? Whoa. I finally break my family's curse, and now I'm dying?
That's the worst part.
My soul?
Yeah.
Like she finally got rid of that curse.
It hurt.
That scene was tough.
I felt bad for Alice. I was like, damn.
I felt bad for a lot of folks, but I'm glad the black woman is surviving. But anyway.
Right. She said you died protecting somebody when you served your purpose. What's up?
She said, if I had a nickel,
that was some shit.
People say this all the time.
Right.
But again, the same thing happened with Agatha. But I don't think she was coming to take Agatha. I think Nicholas was the one to go.
Yeah.
Yes. Stillborn.
Oh, she was. That's why Agatha made it a point to tell Nicholas at the end, hey, don't think I sacrificed myself for you, because she goddamn did. You know she did. Because she saw, or not Nicholas, Billy.
Billy.
She saw Nicholas in Billy.
That's why Rio whispered in her ear, that's not your son.
That's not yours. The boy's
that ain't
not
yours.
It's
The
not
boy's not
yours.
yours. And that was the coldest death moment. Because that's death just saying, look, bitch, I need you to pump your brakes because you ain't built for this. Sure, you're a powerful witch. Sure, you can expel from other witches. But at the end, y'all all gotta come to my house. It reminds me of the coming to the last seasons of Supernatural, where Death
Oh,
told the Winchesters,
That's yours.
hey, even God's gotta meet me.
yep.
And it threw me off. I was like, okay, that's white man writing, but it is cold as shit.
Right,
And at the
exactly.
end, even God
That was
has to
cold.
meet a fate, the fate that is death. And I had to think about it, and I kind of figured it out. If you wipe out a whole society, if you wipe out humanity, a deity no longer exists because it exists in our belief system mentally. I'm not going that deep,
Right,
but
right.
what it is that with Agatha and what I liked about her relationship with Rio was just giving her this is what it is. No matter how much you try to avoid it, no matter how many witches you bring home to me, you're coming home and you will meet your end. And the one thing I loved about this series, death was permanent. I
Yeah.
had to give props to Marvel
Yeah,
on
because
that.
I really, really thought that Sharon was gonna come back. I was like, they're gonna let
Oh
Sharon come back.
no. Oh no,
They ain't
no,
gonna
I'm
let
no.
like,
Sharon
they
I
come
think
they
back.
that
gotta let Sharon come
Hold
back. And I
on.
was like,
Who is
damn.
Sharon?
Right.
Who is Sharon?
Who is Sharon?
Oh God.
Because I
no,
was
well,
like, I was like, I know good and goddamn well they did not kill Sharon off this early, and she wasn't even a witch. I'm like, oh no, they gonna let her come back. That
No,
no.
shit made it to the end, and I
permadeath.
was like,
Same thing in
It was,
damn.
WandaVision. Like there were
yeah.
people that died. Like nobody talked about the beekeeper that came, like the one of the soldiers that first
Oh
entered through the
yeah.
barrier.
Oh
And then we
yeah.
Right.
didn't, and then all of a sudden she rewind time and all of a sudden like where's the beekeeper at? And they brought him like, oh, where'd it go? Like people, she did the exact same thing. Billy did the
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing that his mother did. And so again, the fact that Marvel cast Aubrey Plaza as Death, and I
Yo,
think that's probably
she is goofy, but in such a good way for death.
right, because I got the first four episodes this early. As Presley, we get the first four episodes. I'm like, all right, out of the show, out of the first four, there's only three people I care about, which was Agatha, Billy, and Aubrey Plaza as Rio. Which at the time
Mm-hmm.
that there was like rumors about her being death, and I was like, okay, well, wow, well, what's giving that away and everything, right? But I'm like, wait, is Marvel introducing like death, like Mistress Death in the in a Disney Plus show? And not because that's a Avengers level character. That's
Mm-hmm.
the reason why
Right.
Thanos snap tapped the universe was because of her. But I said literally that's the fact that Aubrey Plaza, like he's basically a galactic simp. He did that for her.
He
So
What?
did.
I'm
He
like,
said a
Thank I'm so
galactic,
thank
a
thank
galactic
thank
simp.
thank God they changed his motivations. Oh
I
my
mean, seriously, they
God.
made it better than the comics, right?
Yeah.
And in this, they made it in a relationship with, made her into a witch and witchcraft and all stuff like that. Because there's also you have Hela, who is the goddess
Yeah.
of death, but that's Norse mythology. But yet
Right.
she's still green and all that stuff. So it's like also like you're just seeing parallels through different stuff. But like, no, she's a cosmic entity, like the
Yeah.
Watcher, like the Watcher.
Right. And
So
that was good. That was very smart of Marvel to take Mistress Death out of the whole pantheon of gods. And well, not put her in the pantheon of gods and say, oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Hela is the god of death, but this is death. This is the real deal,
the
which I'm
entity.
the entity. This is the entity of death. And I really feel like this was Marvel saying, hey, we're sorry for Love and Thunder. We sorry what we did for eternity.
Eternity. Thank you. And you see
And
the background, they had all the figures of the cosmic. They had the
yes,
Watcher, they had the Living Tribunal, they had
yep,
everybody, like the big cosmic, entity players.
So
this is
I
our apology.
so I was gonna ask y'all, like, this is, I believe, the least pricey project that Marvel series has created. This is the cheapest one that
Right.
they created. And so this series had a lot of practical
Yes.
effects. Do y'all
Mm-hmm.
feel like the practical effects that we were able to get from this had a better experience for the viewer? because you didn't have all of that CGI, you didn't have all of that extra
Yes.
stuff, green screen and things like that. Like, do you think it
Well,
gave the
it's,
viewer
it's not. Oh,
The-
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
They built showed it.
right?
It wasn't.
Yeah, they did.
It was the cheapest, which of course is not. It doesn't mean it was cheap. It was just the cheapest.
Right.
But
Right.
they physically built an entire. They built the road,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like the actors and actresses were like, we didn't even feel like we felt like we were literally outside on a road. But to me it looks so much better than, like you said, all the CG, because we've gotten used to the Iron Mans and the Captain Americas, and they're flying through the air and they're doing this and doing that, and there's the big explosions. That's what we've gotten accustomed to when it came to our superhero movies over the course of the last 10 years or so, if not more.
Mhm.
But this was way more, I guess, kind of
Grounded.
down to earth. Yeah,
Yeah.
way more. And it
Well-
felt like it was supposed to be, because we're dealing with witches and Wiccans and covens, and so it to be literally down to earth.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and
it
I
worked.
think it was grounded just like Falcon and Winter Soldier, which worked. You know,
It did.
we had a break from shots that were done in the volume. And I don't think Agatha really had any volume shots except for parts of the road, if they even did that. And I once again, I will congratulate Marvel for not making their VFX artists go insane with this show.
Yeah.
And is it what was Jack Schaefer? Is that
Jack Schaefer, which is well, I'll go into
he
that.
made that call. And
Mhm.
I have to you have to love that he did that. He was like, no. This one, the way I wanted to do it, and you gotta say, Kevin Feige, listen, this is the second director Kevin Feige actually listened to. The other one is Ryan Coogler, where he basically said, all right, have at it, do what you have to do. We're not truly connecting anything to this. This is something that can be brought up and maybe in the Marvel films, but also have its own, it could stand on its own 2 feet.
Mhm.
You know, and that's the thing I love. But I, along with many, really thought we were gonna get some Mephisto love. But again, Marvel, you fucked us. And I'm not gonna take
Yeah,
this
I
bent
thought
over.
so.
I'm
I
gonna
thought so
fight you,
also.
Marvel.
I wasn't mad at it because I low-key forgot about Mephisto until Jen
Oh, I
dropped his
never forget.
name. Because
Yeah.
I mean, like during WandaVision, they were just like, we might see Mephisto, and I'm just like, and I
The
didn't really
writers
wasn't
didn't even know
familiar.
about Mephisto. Like that's
Right.
the
Yeah.
thing. They
I
were
was-
like surprised. The fans were like, wait, we're gonna bring Mephisto in WandaVision, and everybody kept
Right.
speculating. So they just name dropped him in this show. Like, okay, well, let's
I
just put
do
him in
love
there.
that they did that though. I do
Yeah.
love
The
that they did it.
Right.
Go ahead,
Because the
Anthony.
only character in WandaVision that would have made absolute damn sense to bring in would be Chthon. Chthon would have been one. Okay, if y'all don't know who Chthon is,
Yeah.
Educate us.
well,
Yeah,
Michael does.
Yeah, so
Chthon is the how can I put it?
Anthony, I love when you speak nerd.
One, you're welcome. One of the badasses of badassery when it comes to the magic side of Marvel. He is one of the, depending on which comics you read, is the creator of the Darkhold. And Chthon he is basically what people would have thought Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision, because he works on, oh, you want some of my magic? It's, quid pro quo, or a little tit for a little tat. Chthon is very, like, recently, Chthon in the comic books is kicking ass because he's like, hey, I'll give you what you asked for, but I need something in return. And it's a sacrifice that you're not really prepared for, and you're not ready for it to happen, because Chthon loves to make things happen on his time, not yours. So I would have loved to hear a little bit more about Chthon, because they did mention him in Doctor Strange.
I don't know, but
and that's where the
considered-
monster.
he's
That's
like
where the
considered
monster.
an elder god though. Like, were we trying to go to that status? Like elder
we
god?
already there, but it's the point.
Yeah.
The point with this, the Chthon, is that in the temple, of Doctor Strange, which by the way I have huge issues with that movie, but
Oh
like
Lord.
but like with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness in that tomb,
Hmm.
that you also had the creatures that had the face of Cthulhu, or at least the creatures, but
Right.
in the
Yeah.
gravings you also have a graving of Wiccan or Billy in one of
Hmm.
the in one of the one of the walls in the temple, but it was only like a quick shot. But that was because Wiccan is part of a prophecy, which they didn't go into
Right.
in the show. But it's the same thing as Scarlet Witch. See, I'm educating you. Thank you, thank you. Get your pen and paper.
Nah,
Um,
nah,
yes,
nah, because you said earlier that this series has some plot holes, and then Jason also piggybacked on certain stories that could have been told in this series. And I'm gonna say everything doesn't need to be told in this particular series.
Hmm.
Certain
Bingo.
storytellings does not need to be in here. Now, I believe with the success of this series, we could possibly get a season 2 to where a lot of points. Michael, let me
Didn't
finish my
Jackson?
statement before you shake your head and shit. But like, we could possibly get a season 2 to where we can get more things that can open up or they can show up in future series or future movies.
I don't think it's
Everything.
meant to
Well,
be. I think
no.
it was literally meant to
well,
be one
Mike,
season and be one
yeah,
and
because
done.
Listen,
I,
okay, if I can let you in on a little behind the scenes
They
secret
may
though.
continue with
here we
another
go.
person, but I don't think it's going to be
Right.
Agatha
So,
all along.
Oh, no, no, I don't
so
think it'll
this
be
show.
Agatha.
No, so this
hmm
show was part of the previous regime in Marvel before Bob Iger came back and it's like, hey, hold up now, we got a problem here. The Disney Plus shows ain't hitting, these movies are ain't
right,
hitting right now. So we were focusing on just creating a bunch of these shows. And also this show was announced back in 2020 or 2021 in the Disney investor meeting. And this was also during the regime of when they were still moving with the Kang storyline, right? And now that's going to be removed. What I think what they're going to be doing, because they already got another show that also they're going to be moving on to, which is Vision Quest, which is going to be a
right.
show about the White Vision from. But hold on. So this what happened. So, and when you saw that vision of, no pun intended, of Tommy in the water, which I'm so glad they added that in. That was
That was.
perfect. Like that was so perfect
Don't
how
you
they
love how
they
they
didn't
added
show.
the tennis shoe
Yeah, tennis shoes, right?
speed?
Exactly. Right. So where that kid is now being reincarnated to Tommy, who becomes Speed, who is another speedster, but he can probably be in the Vision show, which I think that they're going to be into because at first they could have made a Young Avengers movie because Young Avengers has ties to Kang and all that stuff, but at the moment right now, currently, it look like that's not they're not going to go down the Kang storyline, but it's a storyline called Children's Crusade, which
Hmm.
is the Young Avengers where they came together as a team in search for Wanda. So that's where I think in that where there's gonna be a show,
Hmm.
which I probably most likely is that they're going to have that show where they'll take, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Ant-Man's daughter, what's his name, the black kid, Eli Bradley
Yeah,
grandson, and who's gonna
I
be in the
Isaiah
second
Bradley.
yeah,
yeah,
Going
right.
with you.
Isaiah's the Gramps.
Yeah, it's Eli. Eli.
Eli is the grandson.
Eliza
Eli is the
Grant, yeah, the
grandson.
Patriot. So yeah,
Hmm.
and then they team up along with Wiccan and his
Or Josiah
now
X.
yeah his husband. What's the name? Hulkling, where who's like
Oh
half
yeah.
Kree and Skrull and everything. But yeah, they're gonna and that whole storyline is in search for Wanda, and that's when they
Hmm.
finally reunite. And I think that's gonna be the cap of this storyline, but which focusing on Disney Plus. But you
Yeah.
mentioned talking about Jack Schaefer. This is also, I believe, in terms of Kevin Feige of stewardship, because you can't be in everywhere at once. You can't have your much as you have all these different properties, want to stick your toe in it, like you're only one person. And I think the best
Right.
way to actually is to shepherd someone to actually hone on Marvel Television, which they're seeing them having focus and having these separate divisions: Marvel Television, Marvel Studios, and Marvel Animation. Which before that didn't happen. It was all under studio, like a movie studio trying to make television shows. It wasn't
Hmm.
working because they were overproducing and they were getting low returns for high budget shows that nobody was watching. And this show showed you that, hey, we're limiting our budget, but for the sake of enhancing our attention to storytelling. And some things can just be as simple as just camera shots, simple as just, writing, creating suspense, or editing. just editing how going back into previous episode of this explains that timeline inaccuracy that you saw. Oh, it all ties together. The seeds were here from episode 1. And
Yeah.
that what I felt was the strength of this show. And even then, there's another thing where the ideology of the show. Listen, you have women, you have LGBT representation, and you have new characters that nobody introduced. Right? Why did this show work and the Star Wars acolyte failed? Because it wasn't about the representation that failed. It was your execution and tying these storylines together.
All right,
Seriously.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut you off on there because this is a acolyte fan podcast. We're not taking no
I'm just saying. Look at the number. It's the same exact thing.
Michael, let's
you
just
have
stay
women.
on track. Let's just stay on track.
I'm just saying why I'm giving this show props.
Blink twice. We over here. We not bashing the acolyte.
Okay, I'll blink 3 times for you. But listen,
look.
like I'm telling you, this guy. Listen. This is another separate conversation. You need to watch my review.
She gonna mute you, Michael.
I was like, come on now. We ain't doing that.
Say this.
What you got?
I was listening. I was laying the plane. I'm saying why this show worked because
your plane ran into something.
No, because it was the writing. It was the writing of this show. Is that the fact that in less than 4 episodes, it was to episode 5 where the show took a complete different turn. Where it's like, okay, now you got my attention, and that the fact that some of these characters, who I thought were uninteresting beginning, you end up giving them satisfying conclusions, tying up their character development in their episodes when they, basically end off and dying and everything. But that is talking about storytelling, not about budget. Storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
All I could say is, oh no, y'all go ahead. No, because I was gonna say all I could say is about the acolyte. Okay, you and your b-boy stance. I know you ready to start a battle.
Ready to get attacked. Go ahead.
The acolyte. Let me put it like this. Agatha at least had a better coven than the acolyte. And the song that the coven sang was a hell of a lot better than what the acolyte did.
Come on.
Okay.
That's it was on a Billboard chart.
The song is a bop.
The song is definitely a bop. And I'm not gonna sit up here and act like it's not, but I'm not gonna compare the two. If I have to pick which one is better, of course I'm definitely going to say Agatha. I'm gonna go ahead and say that hands down. But a lot of people had hatred for the acolyte. Jazz is not one of them. I enjoyed it. There could have been things that could have been fixed, but it did not deserve the hate that it got. The Star Wars fandom, they're racist as fuck.
I was gonna say it did seem like it was more, but the hate for the acolyte seemed like it was more based in I don't like gays, I don't like women, I don't like Negroes.
Exactly.
Much. It wasn't so much I don't like this show, or I don't like this storytelling, or I don't like this story, or I don't like, these camera angles, or what. It was just I don't like Negroes and gays. Like,
yes.
Like it was very.
Thank you. And that's my point I was trying to make. If you have good storytelling, then people will forget about like this. When he popped up, I didn't care that he was gay. I was like, slay bitch, go ahead. Yes. I didn't care.
To be fair, like I seen people bashing the storyline of the acolyte. More so than they were talking about the racism and the sexism on it.
Well, the nerds I seen didn't like the story, which I will say because they kept a lot of things they kept rehashing, and like the thing with I'm a kudos Mike in that point that he made there, because where Acolyte does the same exact thing. You get the story told from the twins' perspective, then you get it from the boy from the Squid Games. You get his story perspective of the same exact story, but you get the full thing. So with this one here, Jazz, you brought it up because it was some stuff I didn't catch. So you see Agatha's on episode 1, episode 5, we kind of flipped the story, and then we are now with Billy and following the story, and we kind of see, okay, with the recontextualizing, Agatha was tripping. But then when you pay attention to it from Billy's point of view, you kind of see like when people when you start start seeing how people are engaging with Agatha, it was like, oh, they was just like going along with the BS. It's like the little kid in the neighborhood that you'd be like, but see me, I'm gonna tell the little kid, you can get your little fuck ass kid from in front of my yard. Exactly. Before I put him in the dirt.
Exactly.
But see them, they over here allowing her walking around with a fake gun. She bucket naked in the front of the house. Her better than man than me. But
Oh,
And
I'm
then
sorry, Jason. Go ahead. Because
no,
there's a but.
you got it.
But no, please.
Literally,
No, finish.
you literally.
He was done.
Oh yeah,
He
you
was
was looking
done
at
editing.
Catherine ass. I
He
understand.
was.
I get it. The milk and magnesia was flowing. But the thing is that the reason these folks played along with it, they are still suffering from what Wanda did to them.
Mm-hmm.
They
Right.
are scared. Because remember, when the seven show up, everybody look in the street like, oh shit, not this again.
Right.
Like,
yes.
even I think it was the ice cream guy who in WandaVision, he just went, oh no, this not that. Oh come, oh all right, well we'll play along.
The seven didn't get enough
Because
play.
Man, I
agree.
hate
I
they
would have
all
liked to see
died
more.
in episode 7. I thought they were going
But
to
I
have.
love
I
how
thought
they
a few
died,
was.
though.
I thought a few was going to survive.
I like the death scene. The death was cool. Like the
I think
I thought that was
you want to
beautiful.
see
the way
more
that it
action. That was-
happened
yeah.
and
Yeah,
but I didn't like we didn't see them. We didn't
yeah.
experience anything. Like Agatha was scared of them for a fucking reason. Like there's a reason that these
Because
people
she
are
killed their
scared.
mama.
I mean, but that other than that beef, unless you know the backstory, other than that brief little tidbit of, oh,
Yeah.
Agatha fucked somebody up at one point, and what I love how that bitch came about. She's like, "What's the lesson we've learned?" She was like, get your loose ends together. Like we killing
Right.
everybody next time. But we didn't really get to see them. We didn't experience anything. Everybody, like you said, got at least a little bit of a backstory as to why they are how they are. And we didn't see anything about them. And I'm like, I would have liked at least a little half episode, real quick, something to say who they
Yeah.
are. Because if you don't
Yeah.
know backstory about Agatha, or if you know no backstory about any of these characters, you just see seven motherfuckers in some cloaks. They, for all you know, they could have been them motherfuckers that was carrying the torch for the Undertaker. For all we fucking know, that's all we saw was some.
Right.
was some
You mean
motherfuckers
they-
in some trench coats.
My mind
You're
instantly
saying
went
that
to
they could have
Ghost.
been acolytes?
Right.
The power of many.
My mind went to.
Like,
my
listen,
mind-
like,
my mind-
it's
my
like,
mind
listen,
instantly-
it's like, that's the thing. Like, there were 7 of them, right? And they're, listen, same
Right.
outfits and everything. They had the same, makeup and makeup artists and all. But I'm saying it's literally verbatim. And that's why I'm like, nobody see the comparison. Like, all right. And I'm a person, as much as like I had issues with Acolyte, I'm talking about the representation of like what people are complaining about with any of these shows related to Disney. Black women, leading roles, gays, all agendas, all stuff, right? You have all that here. But for someone like me, like I'm just focused on the story. I don't care about it. But if you're just telling me that, it's gonna get basically boring. If you're just telling me, oh, let's just talk about the representation stuff about the character. And so that's why when he had his moment, I was like, me and my wife were watching this. I didn't care he was gay. I mean, I knew who he was in the comics, but I was like, okay, how they gonna actually sell this guy? Like, and they killed it. He killed this role. Like Joe Locke killed this role, and I'm so happy for him. Like,
Yeah, he did a damn good job.
He got a lot of hate, and I don't understand why.
Neither
it's the
do I.
character. It's with the character. He's the most gay character in Marvel because of him and his husband. Yes.
I mean, but you knew that the motherfucker was gonna be if you followed anything like
Yeah.
that, and that's what kills me about like the Star Wars fandom and all that. Like they want stick to the
This is the
origins
source
and stick
material.
to this and like motherfucker, we knew he was gay. Like isn't he married to a Hulk?
Oh, yeah, he married to Hulkling. Yes, but I'm like,
Yeah.
he's,
Like
yeah, I'm saying
the
that's-
man is married to a whole man in the comics. Like you knew he didn't just pop up and marry Hulk. He had to be gay at some point.
Also,
I like how the little motherfucker said, please don't put me back in the closet.
Yo, I know.
Right.
but also you got
I
the
missed
thing
that
is too,
How?
and I think what's really
I didn't
horrible,
get every gay joke,
It was
Right.
a lot of them in there. I'm not gonna lie.
there was a
I
few
am the
dozen.
querent. I'm the querent.
She said,
Yes.
"Look, you want straight questions? Ask a straight lady."
Straight lady.
Baby.
Yeah,
she
that was
sure
funny.
did. And then motherfuckers was like, I don't know if she's like, I don't know if I should be scared of her. Ask her for her number. And they was like, you
I
know
feel
what?
like Rio could have pulled her entire coven for real, except for Lilia.
Right.
She could have pulled their entire coven.
Well, okay. Well, we're gonna stick with that because
You
I
don't
was
think
gonna
she could
say
have pulled
the
Lilia?
Nah.
I think Lilia
no,
was
Lilia.
scared of
No,
her.
You know why? Because the Rio took her mother when she was 6 years old. I remember you. Remember, she's like,
Yeah.
"Do you remember
Did she
me?"
remember her though?
Yes,
that's
yeah, no,
right.
remember?
She
I don't
did.
know.
No,
Did
remember?
She's
she?
living life out of sequence, but
Yeah,
she
because remember, in the
remembers.
dream, in the nightmare
Oh,
sequence, in episode
Uh-huh.
3,
That's right.
the
That's right.
skull, death in the full skull face
yeah,
appear
Yeah.
right behind her mother, right? It's like,
Yeah.
don't you remember me? Like,
And she goes,
yeah,
yeah, you snaggle-tooth bitch. You
yes.
bony faced bitch. You wanna be black woman Iman looking bitch. I thought she'd a roaster. And if being
oh,
Patty LaPone,
Lord.
who can do damn near everything. But no, I wanted to go back on what y'all were talking about earlier because nerddom is as worse as bro culture. Now,
It
Mm.
can't be. Yeah,
everybody, it has gotten that way where, especially if you're kin to the white man,
they
um,
love screaming about source material. Source
it's
material.
the
Source
source material,
That's
it's
why I
the
do
material.
my
source
videos
material,
anyway. Yes.
which is very shocking that the only time source material became a big deal was because of Billy and Joe Locke playing him. But there's another character in there that people would started to lose their minds on, but it was after the fact, and that was
Ooh.
Jennifer Kale. Because
Oh,
Yes.
Jennifer Kale in the comic books is a white woman, but she's also the cousin
Ghost,
of Ghost
Ghost
Rider,
Rider.
I saw, yeah.
Johnny Blaze.
You know, be a
So
nigga
when
this
they,
time.
well,
So,
here's the
so does
thing.
that say, are they gonna make Johnny Blaze black in the MCU when they bring
You,
Ghost Rider? When they
my thing
already have
is,
a Mexican one.
yeah, you could bring in
You talking
Robbie
about Robbie
Reyes and
Reyes?
say,
Man.
yeah, you could bring him and say, okay, they're cousins because yes, black folks and Hispanic folks do fuck each other. It's
We don't want
happened.
to be. We don't want to
But
be.
to make
I
Johnny
don't want to be tied.
Blaze,
We
on
don't want to be tied with
no.
them
occasion.
right now.
Not
Not
after
for
the
Not at
Johnny.
all.
election. Not after the
But the thing
election.
is, well, not nowadays. I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is, pre-drama of what just happened, there was a lot of interracial loving, and she could still be black, and you could still bring Johnny Blaze as a white guy. You know, that could
But
be. Oh well,
they can explain away cousins
they can
without
They
turning
explain,
Johnny
can.
yeah,
Black.
without
Yeah.
Johnny Black. But the thing is that the first thing that comes out of their mouths, because let's keep in mind, most nerds are really trying to live the lives that they didn't have when they were kids. The bullied
100%.
have become the bullies. And
Nerds
Shit.
are now bullies. Yes.
right.
Shit. I'd be
And
looking for an argument with a nerd on the internet.
Okay.
I'd be
That's
looking
so. Listen,
for
I
it.
I'll be
do.
like, bitch, go outside and
I
touch
posted my
grass with your
video
ragged
about that,
ass.
like a reel on TikTok. I had so many comments of folks telling me like, "Oh, just a TV show and all this stuff," and then people were calling me simps and shit. I was like, "Bro, I'm educating you. I'm not saying the show is wrong. I'm just telling you where it came from. That's
right.
it."
And
I'm
you
not
see,
gonna
for
lie.
me,
I enjoyed your video.
Oh,
Your
thank
video
you.
was hilarious.
I
I'll
will
do more.
watch it.
I have
And
to
I will
find
watch
you
it
on
and I will
TikTok
troll.
now. Hold on.
Same
Yes,
name.
I will.
Same name.
Okay.
Yeah, now I gotta
Because
look him up.
my thing is that I can't argue with nerds because I'm a part of it, but I can't argue with them because I constantly touch grass and smack ass. So
I know that's right.
I've
Say it again,
seen
Anthony. Say it
I
again, Anthony. Say what you
I
touch.
touch grass and
And
I
what?
smack ass.
That's right. God
So
damn it.
I have a life outside of my nerddom. And the thing is that if the story is good and it sticks to that, I am okay with you want to do a race swap. Okay. I remember when people were so upset when we got what was my boy Zod's son, the black Superman.
Oh, so
And that
yeah, Val Zod, and
Val Zod,
he was image off of Barack Obama. So
Obama.
it's like that's
Yeah.
And folks were like, how dare you, blah blah blah. Okay, he's Kryptonian. Oh, y'all got mad because on the show Krypton there were black Kryptonians.
the
Oh,
guy that played who's now gonna be playing John Stewart Green Lantern.
yeah,
He was
he
in
was from
The
that
show
show.
Krypton, and he
Oh
played a
yeah.
descendant of the elves.
Right.
So yeah,
Hmm.
Superman was a descendant of black people, even though they're
Well, I
from
mean,
space.
Oh
hey,
Lord, they don't want to hear that.
well, hold on, my palm-colored friends. Your scientists even said it that Superman, because he's from Krypton and their physiology is to absorb yellow sun radiation.
Baby, that sounds like a black
Superman,
man to me.
somebody should be a little darkly packed. But again, it's not the concept of, well, Superman can be anybody, which is why I've always said for me, Marvel's characters were so more relatable to me than DC has because I could be in the Iron Man suit. I could
Right.
be in the Spider-Man costume. And I've always said it when Stan Lee said it in Into the Spider-Verse, when he told it to Miles, that the suit is gonna fit you one day. Someday it will fit you. But even in his interviews, he said anybody could have been Spider-Man. Once the mask is on, you don't see Peter Parker, you see Spider-Man. So when I was a kid and young in the 1950s, but in the 60s, I was a young 15-year-old, I could see myself being Spider-Man because you could never see who's under the mask. That was the beauty of Pete. Pete was like, well, shit, I'm a nerd with acne. I got muscles now and I could climb walls, but wearing the mask hides my identity. So anybody could have been Spider-Man. And that's a beauty to that. And what makes me feel like I enjoy reading these things is when I could put myself in it.
Yeah.
Superman is hard to do. Batman, well, I ain't rich and I'm damn sure ain't white. But when I see characters such as a Black Panther, a John Stewart, even the Falcon, and yes, the Falcon was a pimp before he became a superhero. Read your knowledge.
Yes. Yep.
What is it? What did they call it? Representation matters. Right.
It does. Yeah.
People got mad with Billy. Nerds got mad with Billy because, well, the first time we ever saw Billy was just a baby.
He was just a
with
baby.
Tommy.
Yes.
And it was fake. It was Mephisto doing some things.
A piece of their soul. Literally 2 hands. Billy, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. God. Who if they'd have did that in WandaVision? People would have.
I was like, yeah, I don't know that they have the balls to do that. That can be like some TV.
So let me. I'm sorry, Anthony. I got a question after you finish your point.
Oh, no, please. Oh, okay. And you got to understand, when people are so used to one set thing and they are taught this is what it is, this is the way it goes, never deviate, and someone comes in with a creative mind to say, well, I'm going to tweak this and deviate just a little bit, there is going to be backlash. There is going to be fight back. There's going to be, oh, y'all are ruining what was so good because now you made so-and-so a DEI character. Iceman been around since 63, 64 with the X-Men.
Yes.
All of a sudden, they redo the X-Men books in the mid 2010s. And I like how they did it because they brought them back to their teenage days.
Yes.
And Jean Grey was the one who outed Iceman. Like, Bobby's just chilling. Hey, I'm making snowballs. She's like, yeah, but you like other balls too, don't you? And she didn't say that, y'all. She didn't say that.
Oh,
but
damn.
I'm just paraphrasing.
Sound like Jean. Sound like some shit Jean to say.
Sound like Jean. Right. With her weak ass.
She be forgetting stuff. She stay dying.
Yeah. She forgets to live.
Being cloned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, Jean
there were
is a quintessential
so
white
many
woman in a
people.
horror movie. She's gonna slip and trip and fall and be out and fall out and shit. You're gonna have to save her.
I'm the most powerful character. Oh, I tripped over a rock. Scott.
She's so exhausting.
But again, nerds get mad just like how bros get mad, just like how maggots get mad. They get mad because they do not like change and they do not want to accept that. Guess what? The world is filled with more people than your stinking asses. You are not special. You are not the one. You are not Neo, and we damn sure ain't Morpheus. You're more like Agent Smith, or let me put it like this. Sometimes I wish I was Agent Smith because when he says that you're a virus, I would love to be the cure. So let go, touch grass, and enjoy the diverse storytelling that's coming out of this stuff. But that's hard to do because,
no, because they tell us make our own, and then when we do, they get pissed about
we do make our own.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. And then we do make our own and have them get casted like, oh, he's too light skinned. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was.
Well, but Michael, in
I
the
know.
comic books,
I know.
John Stewart has C3 hair, sir.
I know.
He does not have hazel eyes. He don't look like a Tyler Perry hero.
But is that a legitimate ask though? To have an array of
conversation we're having.
That's an array of black.
You should.
Or how about is he British? He ain't from Compton. He ain't from Chicago. He ain't from Oakland.
But
You
that's
know,
not
this is from
fair
London.
because you had British actors that was in Wakanda. Because Daniel,
And Africa.
how do you say
Daniel
his last
Kaluuya.
name?
Daniel
Well, yeah,
Kaluuya.
but do you know who was supposed to be Shuri first?
Listen.
Before like,
Ooh.
we talked about the acolyte. It was Mandela. And
We
she
got
said
who we
no.
needed. We got who we needed.
I
Yes.
like Letitia.
And she's like, "How? No, you need someone dark skinned to play Shuri. I am not being Black Panther's sister. No."
And-
Good for
no,
I
her.
appreciate
I'm
her
not
for
no,
mad at
doing
that.
she
Good
said
for
it.
her.
And the reason why is because of the storm debacle. And the
Yes.
only reason Halle Berry became Storm was because she was a big name
Same.
at the
Because it was supposed to
time.
be Angela Bassett, right?
No.
Black
Angela was-
nerds and
They
even
fan
white
casted her.
nerds
Yes.
her as they wanted Angela Bassett because after she had did Stranger Days and she still had the Tina Turner, I'm about to
What's
do
the
the
big
white
got to do
with it?
muscles.
Mm-hmm.
She
Um,
had the physique.
Anthony,
she
what's
had
the big
cadence.
bitch, the big wrestling bitch you like? Jade.
Jay Cargill.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jade Cargill?
For
Oh,
what?
Is that a picture with you and Halle Berry?
That is.
And
That's
she
Where
ain't
the
got that
kids
wig
at?
on?
Face?
Amen.
For the kids.
That
They ain't have
fool said
kids?
she ain't got no way on.
Let
Did
me
you
tell
see
you
she went to
something.
some movie premiere with that wig and she tore it off?
Listen,
No,
Yes.
it's not the one with the
Holly
wig.
know
No,
her
no, no.
about-
Yeah.
She know
Oh,
about that
okay.
wig.
That wig was
I will
terrible.
say this. With her, she really wanted to do Storm right. Even to the point where the
It's unfortunate that
studio
she didn't.
lied to her and suckered her to come in for the last stand by
Yes,
writing
right. Yeah,
a
yes,
script
yes.
for her
Uh,
to come in and say, "Hey, we're gonna do a Storm-centric act." I think they said like the first
it
act
was
he
to
was
Matthew
supposed,
Vaughn. There was Matthew Vaughn was supposed to direct the X-Men
and
Last
Matthew
Stand,
Vaughn
and
said,
they said,
"I
"Hey,
am
what's
not
the
doing
script
it."
for it?" And it's like, "Hey, they're gonna have a whole scene in Africa, right, to get Halle Berry to sign on." And then but Fox, the studio heads at the time, was like, "Hey, by the way, this script is not. This is gonna be the final script. This is just for so we can get Halle Berry to sign on." So Matthew Vaughn, like, "Wait, what? All right, fuck this, I'm out." So yeah,
Yeah.
that's messed up.
Am I
Yes.
wrong? Am I wrong for saying I don't think Halle Berry is a very good actress?
But
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I'm not even. Yes. Yep.
Hey,
Sure
I'm
are.
not so she can play a role, but back to the road.
Singular. Singular.
I mean,
Right.
As in
Back
I
to the
think she's
singular.
good
road.
at some and
That
not good in others. Like, everybody
this
got
is
a
just
bad
like
day in the
anybody.
office.
Y'all
Or
know
several.
about
Look,
one of the greats.
her
But
greatest line ever is "Make me feel good."
It's not. That is
And,
not her
No,
greatest
I'm
line.
kind of thinking,
do
yeah.
something.
That is not her greatest line.
No,
it
no.
I'm
got
not
her an
gonna lie.
Oscar.
I remember my high school crush was like, actually, never mind. That's not what we talking about.
Jazz,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna,
stop.
Jazz, I'm gonna start with you. Did you do it? Did you do it to make him feel good? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
What was your favorite episode, Jasmine?
My favorite episode was episode 7, Death's Hand in Mine. I
Is this-
absolutely love this episode.
Is
This is the
is
one
thi-
with Lilia.
Lilia.
I know
That
I
was
know the
a great
episodes, but
episode.
It was a
I
great
never like the
episode.
back of my. Is this everybody's favorite?
No.
No.
Actually, I love the Alice-centric one.
Okay. You
When
got
they got
Alice.
together and rocked out.
Listen,
Which
that's
was
the
an
best version of the
awesome moment.
song.
Yes, it is the best version.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the last version where
I like the
where
last
it's
version, the one where
where
they're
it's-
going through time.
where it's going
Like,
through her
yes.
time.
Time, yeah,
You mean
I
when
like
they
that
had
one.
when they had a
I like the
jam
bass
session?
at
No,
the end.
I like
Yes.
yours. I like the jam session, but I kind of like the one where they're
Yes.
going through the time frame with Agatha
It's like a
better.
bass. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I know you're asking, but can we kind of just
Yes.
say,
Can we
Agatha
sing?
really? No.
Oh,
I
sorry.
ain't singing. Agatha really is
Villain?
a villain, but also she is a good representation of white women right now.
Oh yeah. So you mean that they create their own reality, and then when everybody joins on thinking it's true, and they know that it's bullshit, but they just like let me play along with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I never doubted us for a
and-
second.
like, in all honesty, if you really want to tell the history of what just happened
here,
in 2024, just take the Agatha photo from WandaVision where she's winking one eye, and that encapsulates all of 2024 right now.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. I'm not trying to be
So-
ugly, but I mean it's a fact.
No,
But-
you are correct. What you
It's
got, Michael?
It's episode 5 for me because, to your point, it's also representing mommy issues. It representing also
Ah,
doing bad things, and we're supposed to feel bad for you, and then all of a sudden you really don't feel bad. You just like, oh, that's what I do, and then you get questioned, and once you feel entitled, then you actually show who you really are, and then you threaten the wrong, a person, and you fucked around to find out. So that's what happened, where she like, hey, so this is what about when Billy came up to her like, so this is what you do, like, witches, I don't want part of it. She's like. And then she roll up on him and like, "Are you sure?" And it's like, yeah, that to me was my
yeah.
favorite scene of this entire season. Where I react like I had a video my Instagram posted. I was watching my wife, and it's just like she's like, "You're so much like your mother," and that's where it just turned around where she just kind of just embraced who she is. And then that's when Billy just turned up, like keep my mom's name out your fucking mouth. That's what she did. That's what he did. That's listen, and then you had the crown coming on, and it had Billie Eilish play. I was like, slay,
Oh yeah,
slay,
nah.
bitch. Yes, I was with my wife. Like, listen, I don't care what the internet says. I don't care. He gay, slay, slay.
So at what point did Agatha realize who he was for real?
It was the moment when he
I think she knew pretty
the whole
early
time
on.
because this is the point. You only had two options because she was tiptoeing like, wait, what's his name really? But the first one was when right before they got to Witch's Row and she knew this was fake the whole time. It's
Mhm.
like, wait, it's open, and then that's where the camera pans her face like. Oh,
She
hold up.
looked at us.
I already been in a trance under a Maximoff for 3 years. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
let this shit slide.
Right.
No one's fooling me today.
But that's
And
when you
what
said, like, you were talking about the camera angles and whatnot. When you go to that last episode and it kind of recaps, and you see all those times that Agatha was looking at him and she would wink, or little shit that she would say,
only a Maximoff would do something as theatrical
yeah,
as this.
as
Yeah.
theatrical as this, or even the little shit that Rio said when they had Rio appear and she does her little down the yellow brick road skip. And she's like, "Oh, okay, this is cool. This is nice. This is interesting."
She knew
Yeah.
that shit was fake.
Like, yeah.
yeah.
Hell, she cut through the goddamn screen to get out. Yeah, she did this shit.
She did not take any one or anything serious.
At all. But I
At
love
And
it.
all.
that's
But
what
you
I
know
loved
what?
about Rio.
Oddly
She did
enough,
not take
I
it
don't
serious.
think I don't think Agatha actually lied to anybody per se. Like, she told Billy off top the road ain't real.
Is it?
And he
No,
didn't
it's not
believe
She
real.
and he
did.
didn't believe her.
Mhm.
And like all the times that she was going through trying to, even when she was trying to recruit people, she initially was like,
She's just
she
doing it to
may
get the
not have
magic.
she may not have been telling them the full story, but she wasn't necessarily like, she was omitting some things, but she wasn't
Right.
necessarily fully lying, because
Uh,
she would end up coming
She was
clean.
no,
I
she's
nah.
right. No, she's
I
right.
Nah, because even when they got to the road, they was just like, all right, so what do we expect on the road? And everybody looked at
And
Agatha, and
no,
Agatha was
but Billy
like,
was the one. But Billy was the one that came up and actually gave the solution to move the next thing. She was just going along for act like she knew
Yeah, she
no,
was
no,
what
just
was
no.
going
going
along
on.
with the program.
Hold on. If we at the road that we didn't even know was real, well, they thought it was real. Billy thought it was
Mm-hmm.
real. Agatha knew that whole thing was fake. And they're looking at
Mm-hmm.
Agatha like, so what should we expect on the road? She was like, the road is going to test you. Bitch, you've never been here before.
She's
You don't
playing
know
her
any.
role though.
That
She
means
did the
she's
same.
lying. That's a
Well,
lie.
But that's just it. She told Billy the shit wasn't real.
But she
But when he
told,
manifested it, she was like, "Well, fuck, I guess.
But no, here's the thing.
but
She's
hold on,
like,
but
Let
I
me
already,
Agatha
let me
played
go
here's the thing.
along
along.
with
She
it."
Already,
played along with the lie, but she knew the whole
She
thing was a lie.
did.
And she was like, listen to the words of the song and all of that. A song that she fucking created
as
Yeah,
a
I like how she
lullaby
was
for her
arguing about
child.
the
from her
she was arguing about
child.
the words.
Right. Like,
And the
nah.
fact that she used that lullaby along with Nick to lure other witches in to feed her insatiable habit
addiction.
A girl.
thank you, a true addiction, and was giving death a little bit of, hey, look, you let me go by, I let you pass. It's really where you have to look at Agatha, and you got to credit the writers. They made you feel for the villain.
They
Absolutely.
They
did.
really
Absolutely.
She
made
would have
you
her.
feel
She
for
had
her.
her moments because it was time, and that's what I told Jazz. I was like, I want to know this bitch, but I feel like she'd kill me, so I don't
She
even
gonna,
want to.
Right.
she gonna get
Like,
you out of here because she
right, like, I'm
knew.
intrigued to know her, and like, I like her 1 second, then I want to turn around and slap the dog shit out of her, and I'm like, Do I really want to know
Because
her?
Sharon had no
Oh,
business
yeah.
being there. She knew Sharon
No.
was not a witch. And
That
she
Miss
I
Hart
know, that was
thing.
fucked
She
up.
wrote,
Poor
she
Miss
wrote, she
Hart.
wrote that Miss Hart
That was
thing.
That was fucked up.
I love when they said, Mrs. Hart, my name is
Who?
Sharon.
Right. Who is Sharon?
Who is Sharon?
But
The
it's
fact-
also to the point at the end too, where she did not realize that she was the witch 100 years ago that bounded
Jennifer.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, where were you at?
was she was the biggest
Sorry.
villain in this series.
Yeah.
I was
She
there
was
too on
no.
accident.
There is no count that we did not. We know that Agatha was an asshole. We know she was a villain. She was out here killing motherfuckers left and she was killing bitches 5 and 6 at a time. We know that. But
Mhm.
Bruh,
But what I love,
there's always a but.
but
I love
what?
Jennifer. I
Right,
love the way
but what?
Jennifer just said, "Wait, you did this?" And when she
Yeah.
ripped that lock of hair out and
Listen,
bound and
that
to
was
break the
so like
binding,
spiritual. Like even just for black
yes,
women, just like I am bound you. Like that's like soul ties, being broken, being lifted off. Like
hmm
it's just like
Baby.
generational trauma. Like and I'm just like symbolically just what it
right,
represents of like, the
boy,
weight they've been carrying for centuries, the black woman, and now when it's released off of you, the amount of sheer of freedom you have, and just to flee away as you crawl.
But you know what? The
Like
moment
you crawl to
Agatha,
the
I
ground.
think I think Agatha felt a little bad about the finding out that she was the one that had actually bound her. Like I think she had a little smidge of like, oh,
hmm
I didn't know. Like I don't know if it would have mattered if I known, but I really didn't know. And it's kind of fucked
well,
up because then she backdoored it. Remember, she gave her that
right,
initial kind of, I guess, compliment to say, "Bitch, I let you live all those years. I don't like you, but I knew you was doing the good work,
Hold
so
on.
I kind of let you be.
Nah,
I
She
didn't
cuz
hate.
said
I
that
didn't hate you enough to come and kill you.
she said that in episode 2.
So too,
She
yeah.
found out that
yeah.
she had bound Jen in episode 8. She was like, "Oh well, the patriarchy. I was just giving out shit." Like, bitch, what? Yo, that's
Again,
crazy.
Agatha
The
was
Agatha,
patriarchy.
Agatha was being the best white woman. She
yeah, she
was
was she
the
was destroying
best.
establishments. She was going into
Yes,
places being
Agatha was
the
doing what white women do, and hey, it is what it is.
and they should
And
they should have let Jen be the one of you white bitches is
yeah,
always
No, but
killing
no.
and killing.
As soon as that bound was
Unbound
lifted,
me now.
and as soon as
they
she
should have brought
unbound it,
Viola
she
Davis.
flies to the sunset and everything. And I was like, that was just so beautiful. Like, I don't have to deal with you. I'm gonna let the enemy. I'm death's gonna have no deal with you. It'll deal with you.
Yeah,
I'm going. And that it was
right.
so symbolic. Like seriously. Like
And
It
what
very
really
much
got
is. It
yeah,
really
she
is,
found her
though.
freedom. And that's when while y'all was saying that, I was thinking to myself, oh, if only black women could do that in real life.
But you know, with Jen, the
Unbound
whole
yourself from the BS.
that storyline kind of reminded me of. Did y'all ever watch American Horror Story Coven?
Yes,
Yes.
love it.
The
And it
one in
was
New
yes.
like,
Orleans.
The
yes,
best
and it's
one.
like it's Gabrielle Sidibe's character. Like she's kind of, am I a witch? Am I this or am I over here with Marie Laveau? And it's like, and then
Right.
Marie Laveau tells the story of, these bitches took what we had and turned it
Yeah.
into something else. And I'm like, Jen
hmm
is like the lone little black girl by herself. I'm like, is she really in the coven? Is she a witch? Is she not? Is she like, what is there? Well, I would have liked to have seen some of that, but I mean, knowing that Jen wasn't originally a black woman, of course, that wasn't playing into it, but it made me think of that when it was seeing that she was the last one, especially like y'all said, that whole I will not be bound, you will not hold my, like that whole scene. I was like, oh,
Well,
this is
it
some
hits.
emotional trauma dump for a
Right.
second. I'm like,
It
oh God, Jen, get it.
it
You are not bound.
it was because you
But
think
that
about
oh,
her character. I'm sorry to cut you off, Anthony, but you think
no,
about
no,
her
no,
character
please. Oh, go ahead.
through the trials. Jen
hmm
saved them through
Multiple goddamn times.
so many of them.
Yes.
She's the reason
Multiple
why
times.
Billy was still alive.
Do
Do you
Which
disagree?
yes, I
Yeah.
do. I only
Which
seen it in
one?
one. I only seen it in the one when she
So
made the potion
she made
in
the
the sink.
potion. She
What was the
saved
other one?
Billy, and she
And what?
also
She said Billy and what?
she
Oh,
saved
when
Billy when he had
when he
that
got
cut on his side.
when he got cut. Okay,
Yeah,
so she said she
Yeah.
saved Billy. She
yeah.
saved them
And
in her trial.
she got
And what else did she
Lilia
do?
she got Lilia together because she was just like, focus sis, because we need to make sure what we got going on right here. She's the reason
I'm
why
not
Lilia
gonna.
was even
I'm
able to
I,
find the shells, Jason.
I'm not gonna give her that because Lilia gave her the information, and she, as she said, was she wispy or am I whatever it was? That was information she gave her, and she had to hold that because she was perfectly sane and she could walk.
Jen told them in the next to last episode that those were grow lights, so she knew that she needed to plant something under said grow lights. So I'm like, Jen helped your ass out then too.
Yeah, because now we'll say Jen had the most progression in the show.
Absolutely.
Because Jen was a selfish vain bitch when we first met her.
We're not calling black women bitches on
I
this
don't
show.
think she. I don't think she was though.
Yes, she was because you think about every situation. Jen was selfish up until Lily was about to die.
And she was a liar too. She was lying about those products. She did. She was lying about those products though. That's one thing I was saying.
It was some petroleum jelly in it.
She had her magic taken from her, and she was trying to make a living as best she could.
That's what cocaine addicts do.
Selling bullshit.
Trying to make a living. I'm just trying to make a living.
Thank you. Selling bullshit products to bitches that age like bananas. I'm not mad at it.
Hey y'all, thank you for checking out part 1 of our Agatha All Along review. The discussion got crazy, so we had to break it up into 2 parts. But don't worry, part 2 will be dropping this Thursday. It will be available on streams and our YouTube. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review.